Hello and welcome to a review of a LEGO Star Wars set from the year 2007. This is General Grievous's Starfighter. This was a set that I acquired recently. I think I've had pieces of this set before, but this time the base of it was there, so I was able to kind of assemble most of it. Obviously there's some things missing, like the stud here, and some tiles here, and if you can see this residue, a large part of the set was glued together, which was a painful process to, I guess, reverse, as you can see by my thumb right here, which is absolutely destroyed. This is a bit of a new era. I'm at a different desk. If you're wondering what these are, we've got some knives. That wasn't the coolest knife, but yeah, there we go. Look at that. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna maybe I'll put it away. Even though someone as cutthroat as General Grievous would probably love to have a knife in his video. Now, this thing, aesthetically, it's mildly interesting. I think 2007 was kind of like a key year for this piece and this piece. Well, this piece in specific and this one had been introduced. I believe this was 2002, this was 2003. It seemed like every LEGO Star Wars build was just piling these on, or other pieces like it, to kind of add to the character, I guess, make it smoother. Kind of like the last, 2006 had a lot of this piece too, but it just seemed like that was the kind of the style they were going for. And I don't think it's aged very well. Not because I don't think it's a valid style, you know, it's definitely different, it definitely is distinct, but it just kind of lacks cohesion. Like, things don't line up the way they would if it was a lot more squared off, if you know what I mean. Like, the older sets from 1999 to 2004 are a lot more blocky, which, you know, is a style I like, I don't really mind that. One of the positives of that is that they're very airtight. These designs, like the pieces, you know, they were made for stuff like airplanes and cars and stuff, and they were designed to be like airtight. But the more curves you introduce, the more angles we have to work with, the more likely it is for something to just kind of be misaligned and not really fit. So there's a lot of that here. And another part of the set that's aged very poorly is the brown. There's not too much of it here. It's about excusable, I think. But yeah, old brown, new brown, reddish brown, yeah, one breaks apart very easily. And that's why the glue is still on these, because I was not going to dare to try. And this build also has some pretty notable stability issues. And I'm not just saying that because the glued parts that clearly, like, you know, trying to get rid of the glue, I'm sure there's something going on there. Like, this part comes off pretty easily because there's a lot of residue there. That makes sense. But like this connection, this is just really weak, and I feel it's like it's trying to kill itself all the time, you know. It's like there's just a lot going wrong there, and every time I pick it up it seems to fall off. I actually did have this stud. I just lost the section. I didn't realize it. These Duke, yeah, look at that. Like, I know I'm being rough with it a little bit, but you know, stuff seems to fall off constantly, which I really don't like. What I do like is kind of the novel way these are attached. They're all through Technic pins on the side there, which is interesting. There's definitely, like, I don't know, some interesting ideas here. Technic integration hadn't really been a thing in the older LEGO Star Wars sets, this would kind of, I feel like, lead into the Clone Wars sets, which use it a lot, from what I've seen, because I also was able to put together a few of the 2008 Clone Wars sets, and we'll look at those probably after this. Other things, this rudder, like, it's so unsatisfying the way it sticks out there. I mean, I guess as landing gear, it's fine, you know, it makes the thing stand down pretty good, but in the upward position, it's like, it's just very unsatisfying. I do not like that. One thing I do like, actually a few things of note, of the cockpit section. One is this piece, which I don't know exactly when it came from, but like I was kind of surprised they're still using this. I remember it was in the Naboo Starfighter in the original wave of LEGO Star Wars, so it's kind of a classic piece in there. And then this piece, which is just so strange to me, it's like this very 2007 curved piece that's also it's also a wedge, so it's like a brick and on a plate. It's just this has these strange dimensions. You know, it goes from the slope, the angle of a slope to a brick, and yeah, I don't even know. It's so strange. And the little divots at the bottom, like, it makes sense when they do that, but it just makes it look strange in almost all contexts. There's actually a pretty cool feature where the cockpit is openable like that. There's this whole big internal system to kind of make this thing work, this rudder, making use of like the, you know, these kind of roof tile-esque pieces. And I think that's cute. It does kind of remind me of like kind of an issue that I feel like was creeping into Lego Star Wars design, where they feel the need to hide play features and stuff like that way more thoroughly than they would before, which kind of leads to like a lot of stuff, you know, going into a play feature and you're like, oh man, what could this possibly be? All these pieces are going towards it. And really it's more so just so like a kind of a basic feature can be included, but one that's like seamless that you don't really see from the outside, which does make it fun and a surprise during the build. But it's like, I don't know, it's like I don't know, it can sometimes be a little disappointing. But yeah, that comes out, and General Grievous himself fits in there. Not very well, I might add. I don't know if I did something wrong. This part of the cockpit I was cautious about because it was covered in glue and stuff. Oh my god, look at that. But he, you know, the figure himself, he doesn't fit in there super good. His head is just a little bit too tall. I do give this piece coming loose. I feel like that's due to the glue, but yeah. And let's talk about the figure, because this is an interesting artifact of this era of Lego Star Wars. So in the beginning of Lego Star Wars, most of the molded heads, or if not all of them, were one solid color. And it created, you know, with this guy, it creates this interesting head sculpt. Very unique. I kind of like it for what it is. This one's chewed up and all messed up because that's just the one I have. It uses droid parts, which I guess is fitting, but it really looks antiquated. And while I love how like some of the older sculpts, like for Chewbacca and C-3PO look, this one, I feel like it doesn't hold up because it just feels a little bit empty, and the droid parts kind of make it fragile, like especially the legs. Like I've never had a copy of this where the legs have been good. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it gets the job done. It just feels a little bit weak. I don't know. It worked for like once, but when they had to use it again, I feel like in the 2 years since its introduction in Revenge of the Sith to 2007, it already felt very dated. Like it's closer to Aldar, what's his name? Aldar Beto? That thing than it is something like I don't know, 2008 Yoda, or like the Greedo's species character. I forget what he's named. That's in like a 2009 Clone Wars set. So yeah, kind of a weird artifact. And one of the things about this set that I find interesting is that I feel like most of the children that asked for it for one reason and one reason only. And that's a reason I can't really showcase because I don't have them on me. But this set came with 4 lightsabers because General Grievous had 4 lightsabers. And they go down here. It's a cute aspect of the set, you know, having storage for all of them. That's neat. It's an important part of Grievous's character and all that. But I feel like that's why a set that otherwise is just kind of whatever seems to have sold pretty well. Because I've seen multiple copies of this thing around, floating around. And, you know, without like that draw of like, oh, it's a cool lightsaber, a bunch of lightsabers, like it does kind of fall a little bit flat. It's not my favorite set. It does, I mean, it has its positives. You know, it's a Star Wars set, so there's no combat in the box or anything. Aesthetically, it looks pretty interesting. You know, this grid pattern, sort of, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. Reminds me of chocolate a little bit, or I guess Pohatsu as well. That's his color scheme. I don't hate it, but it is thoroughly whatever. That's all. Yeah. I'm going to talk about more Star Wars sets that I've rebuilt from this time. I'm sorry if I'm not like as animated, because these sets, they're interesting, but they don't excite me in the same way that maybe older sets do. But there's still definitely things to talk about, and it is an interesting transitionary period. And through this, we can kind of use it as a lens to kind of view like how Lego Star Wars got to the way it is today. The trends here are definitely the ones that Lego Star Wars would follow, in comparison to kind of the very different vibe of the earlier Lego Star Wars waves. Thank you for watching.